Okay, we're back and it's time to pick a route for the episode, or the first half of the episode with how things have been going lately. Did I actually get that upgrade that increases my 5 scanner charges? Okay, so my destination's down here. And now I should plan a route and obliterate my enemies. I would like to go here. Huh. So the game doesn't even consider these directions as being part of the route for getting around on the freeway. I don't know. My goal is probably to go here, so let's try to re-roll that one to not be... That's not better. Okay, there we go. Something's moving, corrosive downpours. That could be bad. That is a lot of storm. That is still pretty bad, actually. Corrosive waterways? That's not so bad. I can drive around most of them. What do I do from here? Looks like I have to go to C2 from C3. That's the only way to continue forward. So then A6 I want to make Turncoat, Concussive Blast, Swift Storm. Okay, just Concussive Blasts. Perpetual Stability at Destination, that's usually how that goes. Heavy Fog is A-okay, that has almost never even been a problem. Heavy Fog could be a huge problem if it was actually Heavy Fog. Like, I've driven in Heavy Fog before, it's terrifying. Also, we've all played Lethal Company, and when we have a very long Lethal Company series, if you haven't seen it, it's a lot of fun. Like, seriously, our friend group really enjoyed that game, and we'll be back to it at some point. In fact, I have some backlogged footage, we're just waiting for opening in the schedule or to be stacked with more footage into a mega video. So there's more coming eventually, no matter what. Very fun game. Its popularity makes it feel like a meme game, but it's just sincerely neat. And that game, at launch, had incredibly upsetting fog. Oh my god, you couldn't even play the game. It got a little better, but it's still scary. Anchor obfuscation could suck, because that means I can't find them, and they're tier 2 anchors. But I don't want to re-roll it, because that's a really... I could just not get anchors in that particular spot, and that's, like, fine. And I don't want it to turn into a thing that drains my battery or something, and I can't... If I re-roll something, I can't... Oh, I have 0 scanner charges already, never mind. I'm already out. Alright, so we're gonna do E6, C3, C2, A6 destination, which is a long fucking trip. Unless I can skip directly to... C3 via this freeway system. Did I unlock that? Yes. So we'll see if that works anything like how I think it might work. My entire bottom bar is full of items. My thermal vacuum and my other thing aren't doing amazingly, but I have a backup thermal vacuum and 2 backup other things, saw blades. So there's that. I have the limb pulse emitter and the limb shield here, in case I need them, but bunnies have not really been a thing for a while, so it's not really worth having its own dedicated slot. Side floodlights are ruining my life, so it's not have those equipped all the time. Limb shield. We have that in case the plot asks me to use again, but that might never happen again, because it might have just been a one-off item. Then we have... There's a question if I want it to still have a side battery, or if there's something more useful, like a thing that regenerates my battery, maybe. The question being which one is the best one. The mini turbine might be good because wind happens. I don't know if it just happened. I don't know if I have to be in a wind storm to get energy, in which case I could just park in it and refill my battery. Or there's other ways of doing it. Hydro generator. There is more water in the game. Mini turbine is 0 to 0.1 kilowatts. This is 1.35 kilowatts. But the question is, so I get rained on more often than I'm in a windstorm, but the question is, does this mini turbine generate electricity from me driving? I don't know. Solar panel, this goes on the roof, doesn't it? Where's the location? Where... I guess it's a side rack. Okay, the side thinks it's a side rack, basically. Ah, this seems more universal, but the game is rarely bright. It's very rarely bright in this game. It's nighttime as often as it's daytime. Because we're up in Washington, I guess. But also, any kind of storms, or even like certain parts of being in the north seem to also make it never in daytime, so this is not very effective either. This lets me turn anchor energy into battery, which is very effective, but... okay, I need limb chips for that. But also... depends on my willingness to turn the anchor energy into battery energy. This is... yeah, these are scary. I had lightning rod before and I feel like it never activated ever. I think I'm gonna go with mini turbine. That might be the most universal concept, but we have... the real struggle is that I don't know whether or not driving around activates it. You would think it would, because I'm putting wind on it by driving. But, it's hard to be sure. Unless I research some... spend time on some kind of wiki or something. Me trying to sort these things by slot better. You can just sit in this box for now, and I can deal with you later. IDK, my BFF Jill. And I can take this, the big cans to eat. Who cares? Okay. Let us go on expedition. I'm healed. All my meters is good. Yes. Yes. Just for funsies, let's see how many quirks I have that I haven't identified. As a fun game for the audience. Still 5. Alright, audience. Send in your guesses on what my quirks currently are. I don't know. Like, what's... I don't know. Oops. Some of my quirks are that I'm bad at driving. Haha. See, I do have almost nothing installed here. Resource radar, arc dock. Arc dock. This is like use X to heal my body with that guy, I think. We've had it installed for a while, but I haven't ever used it. But obviously it could be very helpful because I'm always in danger. It could also be very dangerous. So not much going on here, and no resources to mine. Not really a lot of reason to even stop, except for that I can gather the local limb stuff. I can gather the clim points just to be ready to jump at the end preemptively, in case things go wrong in the harder zones. And I can probably gather clothing and rubber, but maybe not. I don't know. I actually don't even know if I need more rubber and clothing. Oh my god. This whole zone is just a cluster of things over on this one road. That's intense. Ouch. Okay, I've really done a lot of damage to my vehicle already. I'm just so good at this game. Hello, Sawblade. Is this a resource guy? Yeah, it is. That's a good way to start the run. Immediate thermal crystals. And that guy's hanging out down there. It is dark around here. Doo-doo. Maybe put the big guys up top again. I know, every run I'm like, I'm gonna go fast this time. And then the run actually starts and I'm like, ooh, look at all these things I can get. Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Don't I deserve it? But in this case in particular, there's just such a cluster of resources here, I feel like I should take it as a sign. Because I famously believe in anything ever. But like, it's a low danger environment full of a fuck ton of loot, which at the very least can feature some of the things I need. Like, I need gas canisters to craft some of my tools. I need rubber for my clothing upgrades. Another vehicle or just more of these? Those are just more of these. I should stick to the order in which the road is presenting these things because I'm going to want to drive forward as I go a bit. For my own health. There be no light in here. There we go. Yeah, given the threats this game throws at me, stuff like this is like a Christmas gift. Just like, look at me go. Just drive down this one road. Here's like 7 buildings to loot. We're not even gonna fight you for it. We're just gonna like put some funny hazards next to the road that don't even pursue you or react to you in any real way. And then just open up with these pinatas. But you don't even have to use a stick. You don't have to use the blindfold. Just use scissors. Who cares? I do wonder if I should have played on a higher difficulty just because I have never ever lost. Which is usually a sign of maybe I should have done that. But you never know going in. I'm sorry, I'm just so good at video games and I can't stop being so good at video games. It's a problem. I also acknowledge that I do need to get caught up on the lore. Is my car turned around? No, I'm turned around. I got confused where I was facing. Okay. But yeah, I do need to get caught back up on the lore. It's a combination of trying to get things done and then the episode length being like, I should stop now. But I like to read all the things. I have not forgotten. But it's rarely a good idea in games like these to read them on the spot when you find them. I do think the game pauses in Subnautica when you open your menu. Actually, I don't remember if it does. In fact, no, I don't think it does. No, I remember I'd be reading things in Subnautica and then I would start dying in various ways. Yeah. That's part of the struggle, is it's hard to read stuff in these games because they put you in danger. I remember especially egregiously, Subnautica had this glitch where you would fall out of your submarine, which is obviously terrifying in the deep ocean, especially if you're already find the game scary. The fucking submarine would just dump you into the ocean out of nowhere. You just clip through your own submarine, which is a horrible glitch. I hate it. But especially strangely, you would then be walking around on the floor of the ocean because the game was still, you had not like gone through the door, so you had not toggled back into walking on the ground. You had not been toggled back into swimming mode. So the game didn't consider you to be swimming even though you were in the ocean. So if I remember correctly, you couldn't drown because it also hadn't activated that system. Which is funny to realize that you don't get these systems activated by you being in water. They get activated by you getting in and out of the specific threshold, which is the door. Given that it's Subnautica, I imagine that you swimming is considered the default by the game. and you walking is a special state that gets activated and then has to be manually deactivated by the game when it's time to stop, which makes a kind of sense. I like dumpster pearls. I'm not weird. You are. Oop. With the sameness of these buildings, it'll be a little harder to keep track of which ones I've actually been in so far. We are following down the road, which provides some guidance. This is a hilarious amount of lootable buildings with nothing stopping me. Yep. Yeah, check out my Subnautica playthrough if you like this playthrough. It has things in common, but I am more scared. There's nothing in here? No. Wait, oh wait, these are already... I've already been in this building. I'm instantly opening everything. That's the sign. Whoops. Yeah, this game has been scratching a similar itch to me as Subnautica, but it's still not quite Subnautica. In particular because it's not a... This game is unfortunately not a unified map. It's a series of individual places and you teleport around a lot, which is a little disappointing on some level. When I was looking forward to playing this game for a while in the abstract, because I don't look into games that much before I play them, I like to just find out what they are via the game. I definitely thought it was going to be a more unified map, akin to admittedly other games I haven't ever played, but I think Fuel is an example of like a kind of racing game that's also an open world and you go across the entire region over the course of playing the game, and the region is basically like the entire contiguous United States except abridged. And like that's like a very neat concept, but I didn't really care about playing Fuel because I don't really like racing games. But a systems-driven thing, I always like seeing games that have an open world, but they have mechanics based around the open world instead of being just a checklist. Because I hate open world games because they're of the Ubisoftification of them, and that, and somewhat the GTA-ification, I guess. But Ubisoft really, GTA makes one game like every 7 years, so it's harder to be mad, and they do a lot of high effort stuff along the way, so they feel like worthwhile experiences. But Ubisoft, those guys make open world tedious and boring because they make a game like every single year or several games per year in their multiple properties, and each of them make open worlds as uninteresting as possible. There's no sense of discovery, there's no mechanical interaction with the open world, it's just a series of tasks that are just fucking everywhere, and you're supposed to spend just like 50 hours doing tasks in each open world, and they make another one like every 6 months because they have multiple franchises that they're running in parallel that are all really similar overall. Like, people can be superficially led on by the idea that Far Cry is super different because it's first person, but a lot of the things that they come up with for Far Cry or Assassin's Creed that people respond well to spread immediately to the other one, and they become more and more similar. God, there's a lot of them down here. Did that always look like that? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just the weird distortion that's over those. Whereas, like, I think having open world is interesting because in games like Pathologic and Yakuza, the simple fact that you have a defined map that you're navigating all the time, there's a familiarity that's generated by you spending time on that map. Yakuza, I don't think necessarily uses its open world in an interesting way mechanically, but the fact that the entire franchise has a tendency to always go back to Kamurocho, at least in part of the game, or maybe even for the entire game, means that Kamurocho as a neighborhood is very interesting over the course of playing through the franchise, and that is very cool because it makes Kamurocho. I keep meaning to make a video about this, but oh my god, there's a lot of zones back here. I might run out of space. I keep meaning to make a video talking about this, but like Kamurocho is very interesting because of the fact that it ages. Did I miss? I must have. Yeah, Kamurocho in Yakuza is very interesting because it ages, and by that I mean like as you play each game, you return to the same map, but they don't literally copy-paste the same map, even though they do as a starting point, probably. They make changes to it. Construction happens, and like parts of it change over time, and they really embraced that, where before they made Yakuza 6, which was supposed to be the end of Kiryu's story, they went back and made Yakuza 0, which was the prequel to Kiryu's story, and part of that manifested in the form of, I'm out of light, in the fact that a significant number of the games end their story in a major location called the Millennium Tower. I'm gonna have to check out these two buildings on the other side when I get my stuff back. It's gonna be hard to tell for sure which. I think I looted this one and this one and this one, so the two on that side are the ones I haven't done yet. It should also be that the doors are open. A number of the conflicts and endings of these games happen on a location called the Millennium Tower. You go up to this giant tower, even though it's basically just teleporting from ground floor to a roof. That's just kind of like a mysterious, climactic, cool final boss fight location to keep using over and over again. Oopsie. And what's interesting about Yakuza 0 is that, and this isn't, you don't need this information necessarily to play the game, and I didn't have this information at the time when I was playing it. I didn't know this about it. But you actually spend the whole game, the whole plot is about this dispute for this place called the Vacant Lot. And if you've played the other games, you can look at the map and realize what the Vacant Lot is. And it's the location of the Millennium Tower, because the Millennium Tower hasn't been built yet. So the whole game is about this big land grab by big power players, and the results of this whole dispute will ultimately lead to the creation of the Millennium Tower, a major location throughout the rest of the series. And so if you're playing the game as the entry point to the series, then you get to see the Millennium Tower essentially come into being, and you're like, I remember when that wasn't there yet. But if you're returning to the games, if you're playing it as a prequel, as somebody who already played the last 5 games, then you're like, where the fuck is the Millennium Tower? It's such a distinct and memorable location in the map, and it's not here, and that's really weird. Like, it's an entire landmark that's gone, and it's just like a normal neighborhood in that area, which in itself is kind of a tragic thing of like, because like inevitably, like there was businesses and people living around there or something that had to be displaced for that kind of like land grab to happen, which is how all that stuff happens in real life in general. It's like, it's very interesting. Kamurocho. Uh-oh. I forgot. It's not perpetual stability, so this is technically on the table. I did basically finish exploring this place, though. In fact, this area is so sparse, except for how crowded this one spot is. This area kind of gives the vibe of being on the highway, which is funny. Did I already get to the other place? It's further down? No. What is that? Oh, that's the anchor point. I think down here is the one I haven't done yet either. Yeah, I think Kamurocho is an extremely cool location to set your series in, because of the fact that they commit so heavily to it. I'm a little sad to see that the newest stuff takes place in Hawaii, just because I'm a little sad to lose that element of it. But like, it's fine. It's a new protagonist. It's fine for the new protagonist to move on to a new location and have his own identity, especially if they then turn Hawaii into their franchise-defining location for this new guy, and then also evolve it over time, instead of this one neighborhood of Japan. Like, that could also be cool, obviously. But yeah, Kamurocho really resonates with me as somebody who, and this is not a unique description, this is most of your guys' lives, but I lived at home for a very long time, all the way through college. Like, I was going to college in another city, but would commute from home, so I was still living at home. And then I lived at home for like another year until I found my first job, then finally moved out. So it felt like I was there forever. But then very quickly, it feels like you've been gone for a very long... You realize how quickly time moves on without you, and how quickly you've been away, you hit a point where you've been away from your hometown for a long time. And like towns change quickly. People, like, construction happens, and that really sometimes really transforms the look of things and the feel of things and the layout of things shockingly quickly. So you can really lose your sense of familiarity with your home way faster than you might expect. Are those both of the anchors right there? They are, huh? I think there was like a household somewhere, but I shouldn't commit that hard to that stuff. Is it a red anchor? No, it's a red light. Probably the exit. There can't be another one in here. Is this the one I already got? Calm down, game. I'd rather grab the oyster. It's not what it's called. I have to grab one of these and head back with it. We're very far from the car at this point. I should have driven the car closer at this point. And I probably will to get the other anchor. They really put them like 5 feet apart from each other. And the yellow's probably approaching, which is bad. That might be it over there. No, I think that's the poison field that was always here. Does that charge my battery? Because that's a heart, right? I think we saw that. It was like the pulsing heart or whatever. And now that I've seen the other type of heart, I know that that heals me. Then that heart probably recharges your battery when you get near it. Let's see. If I travel over there, I should also have the chance to pick out the rest of the back of that vehicle. We're doing okay on time, but yeah. This zone has turned out... This cluster of vehicles has turned out to be so big. And going by the map, it felt reasonable to explore it on foot. But geez. At some point, this thing do in fact go fast. And it's worth nabbing it up for that. Where was Big Truck? Have I been in this building? I don't know. It's like even further down this path. This map is genuinely I think this is new. This is just a comical map for resource gathering. Oh, and this one has lights. Thank God, finally. And then there's no lights. Going off the rails of the crazy train. So yeah, Kamurocho, whether originally intended or not, feels like a way you can do something artistically with a open world map by having it evolve over the course of a series. Which is a thing you don't get in Assassin's Creed because those games are really committed to having a gimmick of being like, and this is the historical city that we gave you this time. Which like is arguably a selling point. But in pursuit of having a selling point, they've made the games more samey, because you don't necessarily even feel the difference between each city that strongly. One of the main things is just discovering, that this Assassin's Creed takes place in a worse location for parkour. Because when you were in the Middle East in the first game, it was like, oh, that's a good introduction to the game, but then you got to Venice and stuff, and you're like, oh, damn. These are really complex buildings that are really, you really can run around on and do a lot with. But then the game sent us, then the series sent us to colonial United States, and it's like, oh, there aren't even like houses. People are like barely building stuff because this is a new nation where we're invading the United States and taking it from the Native Americans, and they didn't build big towers and stuff either, so. Not doing a lot of parkour here, boys. When it's the premise, and then the series largely, I think you largely judge the locations of those games based on how well they fit the premise of the game and whether or not the core gameplay even feels good, or if they've kind of ruined it by setting it somewhere. I think that's a fair point to make. Alright, let's head towards the objective and get out of here. Sorry for lingering here, but holy shit, that was some stuff to get. What is that? Oh, it's a crash. And it's immediately in the bad zone. I've never seen it fall before. That's cool. It's cool seeing it streak across like a shooting star. Oh, that's a rock. That's not what the level's shaped like. Relatively gradual slope, which is nice. I've damaged my engine. That's less nice. But yeah, it's always really bothered me that Assassin's Creed has like mechanics. It's busted. That's not a word I want to hear about my engine. Well, I just got a mechanics kit, I think. Yep. So I can go ahead and close this. I have one in a stack. I'm so good at mechanic. Alright, well, there's just a fucking thing right here. I guess I'll check it out. And yeah, and I'm speaking as somebody who 100%ed at least the single player achievements of Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations before then hitting Assassin's Creed 3 and being like, I can't do this again. Revelations was already stretching it. Its story was so bad. And this all feels like padding. I had the most fun with Brotherhood, maybe because it was the part where you could summon people from the sky to assassinate people by pressing a button. Just the escalation, I guess, was kind of fun still at that point for a moment. But that means I collected every single fucking flag or feather or whatever each game had, because they were different. I remember the Assassin's Creed 1 had 100 flags to collect in each of the 3 cities, so that's 300. Then there was 100 in the open world between them, that's 400 overall. Then there was like 20 more in, is it Masyaf, the starting town? So that's 420 flags. And then there was 40 Templars, which are unique elite enemies placed throughout the game that you had to locate and kill one by one. And I found all 40 of those guys. And so it's 460 collectibles in that game. And I did the whole thing. And then I did it again for Brotherhood and Revelations on top of beating those games in general. And those games are just not mechanically very good. One, there's no mechanical interaction with the open world. The closest you have is just the fact that you parkour on the buildings themselves, but those are still essentially like restricted to being like a part of like the level. Like you get to your objective and then you're like parkouring and maybe in a specific way. Until you get to your objective, you're largely just holding forward and the parkour buttons, and you pretty much just autopilot through the environment, and so you're not really playing a game really. But what really stood out to me is that like the games don't expect you to ever be good at them or use their mechanics in any real way. What really got me is that at the beginning of Assassin's Creed Revelations, they introduced bombs and how there's a complex system of bomb-making mechanics. I then forgot about that and then beat the game and 100% of the game and then remembered the bomb mechanic existed. And like, this game never demanded anything of me. I never needed to master this mechanic. I never really had to learn how to play it. This bomb making thing never came up. Okay, does this thing recharge my battery? Let's find out. That's exactly what it does. Yeah, it's a heart, just like the other heart, which means it recharges my battery. Alright, good thing to learn about. See, there's me being rewarded for learning mechanics in the game. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so, all according to plan, corrosive waterways. If I'm really lucky, we'll find some fun eggs here. Please. Eggs, thermal crystals, coral. Really any of the unique resources here, I'll get as much of them as I can. This is my real time to try to use my scanner. There's no impending threats right now, no special themes to this zone. It's just don't get in the water. The water's bad, which I can deal with. Oh, it's even kind of daylight. What a fucking blessing. Gee golly willikers, this game is so nice to me. Now. Unless it immediately starts the alarm for the fucking storm. I will hop in here and nab what's inside of this box, and then I will do a resource scan to find out if there's anything for me to pursue. There's nothing in this box. Cool. Not a best first omen. What is that? Okay. Well, right over here there appears to be one of the things I want. Yep. Oh goodness, this is the good stuff. Swamp coral. Swamp coral Instagram. Why is that the thing I was going for? Damn, there is some coral around here. And now we just pace around and see if any of these pink clusters are still budding. You fucker. Oh. It tries to retract right when you're sucking it up. But you can't escape me. Not with my oral fixation. Ah! Nyeh. One day I will be resistant to 2.6, 2.5. I would actually very specifically not be resistant to 2.6 if I was resistant to 2.5. Is this more... Yeah, another fuel barrel, which we've learned kind of suck. Okay. That's a decent start. Getting that kind of stuff immediately. Anything in the backs of these guys? Ooh, a resource thingy. Or a helpy thingy. Recharge and repair. Don't mind if I do. Grab a little rubber. Because I don't remember if I need it or not, so I'm just going to randomly poke at it sometimes. Although at this point... Not that guy. Okay. The good... Ooh! I guess the good news is those guys don't seem to move around. Ooh, there's some stuff over there too. They don't seem to move around, so I think I'm relatively safe as I don't just happen to come over and aggro them. Oh, I'm using the normal vacuum. No! Was I using the normal vacuum a minute ago too? I don't think I was, because I was doing a really good job at sucking up all that stuff, and that's usually a huge pain in the ass. So I probably was using the right thing. Ah, okay, this stuff's gonna hurt me. I really want that stuff. Don't retract. I think it's based on the movement speed that I'm currently going at. It's probably how it works, is that if I move at a slower speed with my joystick, I'm probably less likely to make them retract. I need to focus on that. I want to nab up all the stuff, but I'm also like going to run out of inventory space. Why am I grabbing those? I don't care about those. I'm just going to regret them later when I run out of space. Yeah. I try to say goodbye and I choke. Thankfully these make really big stacks, so I should be able to keep vacuuming it up without giving myself an inventory problem. Ow! I'm I'm grateful that there are big globes, giant pairs of balls that help me identify one of the most important resources that I have not been getting enough of. Admittedly, the fact that they are big glowing balls themselves makes it seem like they wouldn't be that hard to find this particular egg. So I kind of wish it was indicating another resource that was harder to find, but I'll take anything that... Jesus, game. Ow, 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 ow. I'm the grandma from Dante's Inferno. Ow. Save the children. Okay, let's get back to the car that I left a million miles back. But I've had a very productive series of distracting resources altogether, and I know it's a break from anything exciting happening, but oh my goodness, do I feel an incredible sense of relief whenever I land in a place full of the resources that I can actually need, and I have the time to actually pursue them. Like that one time we were in the Adger facility, and they were just showering us with riches for a while. I'm in dangerous radiation. Is my car in radiation? Should I be worried about this? Let's drive this. It doesn't seem to be... It's not blinking. Okay, that's a good sign. So it's probably fine. This was a good haul. Where am I? I'm over there in that corner. Let's find our way into a different chunk of map. Let's nab this up. Also, let's not aggro that guy. Let's maybe drive off the map to go somewhere else. I will loot this real quick. We got another piece of lore. Ah! Press that many D-pad inputs and then you don't even get what the thing you're trying to do. Alright, we used up half of the thingy. I just don't have that much to repair. There must be a point where it stops repairing, because this wheel is not green yet all the way. But but the meter's only half gone and it stopped. Maybe it just won't reach 100% quite. Or maybe it only will expend so much resources on some things. Ow. Ah, didn't even see that in all the tree, in all the bushes. And now I'm defeating the purpose of me walking all the way out here by just driving all the way out here, but I have to go around the kidnapper, because that thing will make me sad. And while I've increased my resistance to getting stuff stolen from my inventory, those annoying guys can still go after all of my car. And it is quite upsetting to encounter things that just steal parts of your car off, even though we've learned that even my higher level gear isn't that valuable, honestly. And yes, I am still miffed about that, and will continue to be iffy about that. I'm just saying, if I'm working that hard... This stuff's all the way out here. If I'm working that hard to make shit, it should be good at stuff. You know? If I'm making armor for my car, it should armor my car at some point. Hello. Why is... This is so eerie that they keep throwing stuff at my head. Okay, it's there are visitors nearby. And that guy's arm is up. That might explain that. Oh, it's a tube. What's weird to me is that they throw stuff at me as a distraction, and my first instinct should be, oh god, they're coming. But then when I look around, I can just ignore them, grab all the stuff, and then look back, and then, like, who cares? And, like, they never come after me. I know I'm talking about it too much, and given that I'm ahead of everybody, there might be explanations, or people might be tired of responding to me talking about it by now or something, but I just am very distracted by how weird the visitors are, and that they just do not seem to ever do anything to me. And it's like, I know that part of horror comes from restraint, but I just do not think that that is necessarily accomplishing that goal. It's gone beyond restraint, and it's gone to the point where I just actively do not care about visitors. I don't worry about them. I just don't want to crash into them because they explode when you crash into them. But like, I just don't think they... I genuinely don't think they move anymore. I'm like, is there something wrong with my CPU or something? Or like, I'm like, is something in my computer breaking this game? Is what I start to wonder at some point because of how much that just doesn't feel like a real gameplay mechanic at some point. And that's weird. It's just a weird headspace to be in about that. More lore. Is it getting windy around here? Yeah, it is. My battery's gonna be so charged, except for the part where it was already fully charged from the thingy. Is it spinning? Yeah, look at him go! Yeah! Okay, so we're in a windstorm, which is not ideal in that it's not technically usually helpful, but it's not gonna do anything to me. Unless it literally pushes my car into... No! Well, we had a good run with this zone. I should probably not be in here and be trying to find another cluster of eggs or something. Weirdly high populated chunk back here. Does the game make the mistake? It totally does. I think the game is windy indoors. Technically the door is open, but that would not create that sort of situation. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. That song is more graphically self-harmy than I remember. Alright. I will go to each anchor real quick and then do a scan at each anchor for what resources are nearby. Oh, I passed an anchor already. I couldn't see it clearly in all of the storm. Did I see a second anchor? No, I thought I saw a purple. Oh man, that's not good. This is maybe ill-advised. Oh, but it's one of these guys. These guys are the good shit. Holy fuck, that stressed me out. Alright. I thought it was gonna launch me directly into the fucking gas belcher, which would be upsetting. I don't know why I keep specifying that things would be upsetting. I think that was self-evident from the screaming, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna Stop it! Stop bouncing me! It's only funny if you're a video game thing. What the fuck? Oh no. That's, I think I scanned that at the beginning of being in this zone, and it like, I think the implication was that it pursues you. Ow. Going over a V like that is bad. A wedge. I sped through it enough that I just slammed into the ground, then powered through it, but in real life, if you don't slam through it right, you can just get stuck wedged where the, your vehicle can't, the wheels aren't touching the ground correctly, and like you have contact on the front and back holding it up, and you get really stuck. I have spent a lot of time digging vehicles out of various stuck positions that I did not cause. My dad would always go off-roading. We'd go up to the sand dunes that used to be south of Pismo. Well, they're still south of Pismo Beach, but they're no longer accessible. They decided to stop letting people go there so that they could preserve nature there, because we were eroding it all away with all of our joyriding. But I used to ride ATVs up there, which I hinted at before actually when I talked about flipping them. I definitely... Oh god, how bad is my left tire? Okay, it's just yellow. I thought it was red. I thought there was a red diamond, which I've never seen before. I thought we were in deep shit. I have to go back up the north road to go back? Weird. I forgot to do a scan back there to actually see if the resources were around. I don't know, I'm scanning. I know what the icon means. Patch kit. This was a really bad drag. Holy shit, it feels bad to drive this car right now. Okay. Nah. Feels like sometimes the leaks are worse. Investigator. Thing's chock full of stuff. I don't care about the rest of what it has. There we go. There we go. Now I can drive this thing again. I don't care about that stuff. That's not the types of glowy lights I want. That's just a house. I do stop for tubes. Also, I'm going to walk right into this radiation. Hit. Where is the thing? Ooh, that's some stuff over there. Okay, let's get those marsh eggs. And this anchor. Where's this anchor? Up the hill? It's hard to see topographic lines when you're zoomed out. But it's hard to see anything when you're zoomed in. Especially since it seems like sometimes when you zoom in, it doesn't even follow your car. It just stays zoomed into that part of the map. And I'm like, no, please follow my car. I'm trying to see my immediate area, not just, like, that particular rock. Okay, remember the car is off now, because I accidentally turned it off. No surprises, please. I'm all the way over here. Oop. Alright, this whole side of the map should be useless to me. Let's go back down there and head towards those glowy orbs and hope that they're not the same glowy orbs I've already explored. Because I am surprised that my exit's in the top right corner, which means I probably forgot which side of the map I originally came from. Because I thought it was the top right corner. I think it's usually intuitive. I'm just like, well, in a blank slate, it feels intuitive to come from the bottom right corner, because that's where I actually am coming from on the map. But in practice, I feel like I come from the top right corner a lot. What is that? Okay, it's just a stick. I thought something was on me. Like a spider or a squid. I was becoming worried. I feel like I already farmed these. That's a Radzy building I haven't explored yet. And I probably should not be exploring. Unfortunately, it does feel like the zone just doesn't have the resources I want anyway. And maybe only has... I don't have a crowbar. Ugh. Alright, so battery's okay. Let's see what this looks like. There goes my health bar. How much battery did that use, though? I should have been looking at the number actively. And you fucker. Uh-huh. Oh, you're so cute. You think you're cute. Okay, let's nab it up. Maybe it'll be useful. Or it might be several blowtorches, which is also might be nice. I need to stick to this road on the right, though. And watch out for any Steely boys. Any Steely Dans. Uh-oh. That's fine. Ah! Man, nabbing your tire really throws you off course. Are there eggs here? This might be more interesting if there's eggs here. I don't see a building for the eggs to be on. Or vehicle to be... Well, at least I got a haul. Go faster. By just throwing it all in the big one. I don't know if I love the idea of going after this thing now, but I can probably get in and out quickly. And then stay ahead of the bad. This isn't a very aggressive zone, so I don't think a lot is going to stop me actively from leaving. It does look like it might be on the side of a hill. Oh, it's further down. I don't like that thingy. Nope. Alright, I'm officially in the bad zone. Ah! Are you fucking kidding me? I don't even plan where to warp it each time. I just immediately we just gotta move. It's always in a bad time. I'm guessing that thing got me. My god, this is not driving. Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing that that thing got me. And it was bad. I'm slightly less worried about this kind of stuff because... Please, okay, I'm guessing it's too steep. It's too steep for my parking brake. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need faster ways to dump everything that I want to grab in one go, you little fucker. Okay. It's distancing itself, which is probably a good idea. I don't care about any of your stupid cosmetics. I want the supplies. Bye-bye. And we are going to leave now because I am dying. Fuck it. I'm not going to even get that out of my inventory because I turned it off again. Oh, I cannot see what's behind me. I want to get out of here before my stuff turns red. Ow. Not a great approach to crashing. Alright, well, I just turned it red. That's not the way out. This is the way out. My hood is red. My hood is red. My hood is red. My hood is red. Nope, 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 nope. Please do not fall off. You're expensive. You're made of thermo crystals that I never find, and I still am not finding in this zone, even though I'm in the zone where they can potentially form. It'd be nice if they appeared sometime, because of how vital they are to building things. They're a core progression system for my entire ship and all of my armor plating, but sure, let's just never give it to me. It's fine. Let's just never generate the most important resource. It's fine. Ugh. While I'm blaming the game, let's take a moment to acknowledge that it might be that they exclusively spawn in the desert-y spot and never in the swampy spot. I am acknowledging this. I am busy. But the struggle is that I don't have complete control over where I can go because of this bizarre system where they're like, no, you can't go that whole part of the map because of dead ends. So I don't have the chance to just explore. Otherwise I would just do a sweep through Zone 2, just through several Zone 2 locations and just really explore that shit. And they don't want you. The government doesn't want you doing that. Wow, I have found a lot of eggs this run. Alright, that's at least a victory. I'm not getting the other things I want, but I am getting eggs. I'm all egged up. They're dropping another satellite. I am not. I'm not going back to that, especially since another storm is coming my way and I don't know which type. But I would like to get to the exit passage. That's a safe zone normally. What is that? That's just a jump. Yeah, I'm not at the exit yet. Okay, it's just wind. Okay, it's just wind, which means I'm gonna get some... Yeah, I'm actually getting my thing filled right now. That's nice. Let's just park this and let my... Yeah, let my stuff fill up. That's nice. And I will grab a putty while I farm this for battery power. You need a big clump. We do. Yeah, it did reach the falling off state. No, it didn't. That's when it's red. It always has the lines on its health bar to show them negative missing part of the health bar. Yeah. Oh yeah, my magnetic bumper. Oh my god. That's so much scrap metal. What the fuck? That's absurd. Is something broken over here? Is my fucking gas tank leaking again? Open the shit. Okay. It is. That's really stressful. I don't... Oh, God, I forgot to press Y. I do not love how often I don't know this is happening. That's terrifying. I obviously would like to know immediately that it's happening. I need a better, like, alarm system that warns me that horrible things are happening to my vehicle right now. Alright, let's get you filled. Alright. Alright, the storm came and went. Are we healthy-ish? Everything except my radar dish up top. I don't think the bad radiation's at me yet, so I can go ahead and just wrap this up. Did I miss? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Huh. It's getting close, though. Huh. Wow, that was really well timed overall. Okay, jeez. So, yeah, remember to... I did notice that it had an inventory, so it's my fault somewhat. But I did kind of anticipate it having, like, a visual component to being magnetic. Like, it was going to have chunks of metal physically stuck to it, and I harvest them off by picking them. I also thought it would be the occasional piece of metal, like I would look down and be like, oh, look, some metal. But, like, damn, that was a fuck ton of metal. That was like 100 metal scraps. And I just installed that, so that's just from me playing 2 zones? Okay, we have metal scrap to spare. So when I encounter a magnet thingy, I can just turn a bunch of that into magnets, because who cares? I have, frankly, I'm going to have too much metal. This is going to get silly. That is unusual. Entering into a place, and it says that my... Okay, battery is at okay, but my meter is high. My fuel literally says max. That's like, it's a wild thing to see specific... Not only because I'm 2 levels in, but because I'm at a transition specifically. It's like, how am I at max? It's like, because I just filled it up at the last minute, obviously, but like... just being in the middle of the journey and seeing it say max is funny. Alright, so this is the zone where anchors are obfuscated, so I probably won't find them. Unless I see them with my eyeballs. So it's just a matter of just, like, hanging out, gathering the resources I can on the way to the exit, and then going on to the next zone.